In my Liverpool home, in my Liverpool home, we speak with an accent exceedingly rare, meet under the statue exceedingly bare, and if you want a cathedral, we've got one to spare, in my Liverpool home.
This film is simply a journey around Liverpool, past and present. It was made by a Scouser for Scousers just because it seemed a good idea. So them as isn't interested can have their money back and go home.
We've got one to spare, in my Liverpool home.
Right, then I'll be honoured if you'll join me on a trip around Liverpool as it was and as it is. The Liverpool of a couple of hundred years ago was quite insignificant when you see it compared with a map of the present city. In those days, the first landmark on the riverfront was Old St. Nicholas Church and the fort in front of it, which was found to be too damp for gunpowder, and so they made it into a prison for human beings. These views of the riverfront come later, about 100 years ago. They take us successively up the river towards Aigburth. Today's river traveller sees rather different traffic. And a considerably altered skyline. Although landing at Liverpool wasn't always as easy as that. However, now we're safely ashore and our boat gone, Come with me and see Liverpool's first dock and an early custom house, and the last custom house demolished by Adolf Hitler. Then onto Man Island, as it was, and as it is today. A little way north along the dock road still stands St. Nicholas Church, but today almost submerged beneath modern buildings. But proud of the fact that it is still the parish church of Liverpool. Suppose we go still further north and look for the Wishing Gate, where wives and sweethearts used to go for a first or a last glimpse of their menfolk. And this is where the Wishing Gate used to be. Oh well. Let's go back to the city and see if we can find any traces of Liverpool Castle. So if we stand where the castle once stood, some names still come out of the past. This was Pool Lane, now South Castle Street, with Red Cross Street on our right. Now, off Red Cross Street was Mercer Court, as you see it here, with the linen merchant's house alongside, hence the name Mercer Court. Well, here today is Red Cross Street, and here is Mercer Court. However, let's retrace our steps and look down James Street, as it was and as it is. But the town hall stands as ever at the top of Castle Street. And behind the town hall, on the exchange flags, stands the monument to Lord Nelson, defying change. From the town hall steps, you can see on the right of Castle Street an arch. Well, just about here there stood an earlier town hall. But the developers and the road wideners were active even in those days. And they're still at it. They dig up the roads. They knocked down the houses. They cart away some of the debris. And leave desolation behind them. And then they build this. And these. Leaving the old lock-up at Wavertree happily undemolished. And on the credit side, they build new shops. And pubs, which are a great improvement on this in 1670. But to return to the city. See what changes 200 years have brought to Lord Street. First, the south side. And the north side. Now, and then. A short walk into the Whitechapel of those days. And today's Whitechapel from exactly the same viewpoint. A rooftop view of the Whitechapel district in the light of the sunset. And St. George's Hall, which stands on the site of the old infirmary and the ground where the Folly Fair was once held. But time has done nothing but mellow the Bluecoat School. And the Lyceum Club still stands, though goodness and the developers only know for how long. The Old Town Dispensary has long gone. Mr. Littlewood lives there these days. In happier times, St. Luke's Church dominated everything around it. And today, although the church is a ruined shell, the same domination is there. Now come with me around the corner into Ranelagh Street and meet the traditional flower sellers. And some of the busiest traffic in town. And yet just a short walk up Ranelagh Street, we can find a gardener at work. The traffic scurries all around him, but as far as he is concerned, Ranelagh Street might well be as quiet as it was 200 years ago. Although St. Nicholas Church proudly insists on its parochial status, Liverpool now has the distinction of having two cathedrals, Anglican and at the other end of a very aptly named Hope Street, Roman Catholic. Not far from the cathedrals is another place where time, if it hasn't exactly stood still, has at least slowed down, Abercrombie Square. The garden in the square is still a very pleasant place after the passage of 100 years. Still further across town, near the top of London Road, once stood the Gallows Mill, so called because of political executions which took place on the spot. Eventually, a statue of King George III was erected on the site, and he still stands there. But today, he watches over the traffic and the Saturday morning market. This market is a relic of a forerunner of the present-day St John's Precinct, the old Islington Market, which until 1843 occupied the site where now stands the Wellington Memorial Column. Now, suppose we walk down William Brown Street and look up the hill at what it is now and what it was when it was called Shaw's Brow. Now turn around and see the Dale Street where the coaches used to load for their journey up the London Road on their way out of Liverpool. Today, travellers leave Dale Street by going very much downhill. However, while these trippers disappear down a hole, perhaps we can end our trip by looking at some of Liverpool's high points, with the consoling thought that however much the skyline may change, Liverpool will always be Liverpool, and Liverpudlians will always be Scousers. Here's to us, who's like us.